I stopped building a life around fitting in, and that's when freedom really happened. Hey there, Lequita Travels. I document how small decisions build a work from anywhere life. So this video was just inspired by everything that's happening with, I think his name was like Garthright or Sean Garthright, something like that, when it came to the, I think it's called Julio case. And I'm actually leaving breakfast, walking back to my room here in Phuket, Thailand. And it was just kind of heavy on my mind because with Sean Garthright, he actually had a passport. He traveled like multiple places, like internationally. Like he really lived a privileged life. And not saying that, anyone else should actually like create a, commit a crime or anything like that. But when you think of, someone like that, where it's like, oh my God, they have so many privileges, right? That a lot of other children don't have or didn't have, traveling to Africa and Ireland and all these things. So he lived like a pretty solid middle class life. Like, yeah, not saying that his house was a healthy home. Who knows what all that it looks like. But typically, and I know it's not ideal to say it that way, but when you look at a lot of research and data, because I am a licensed clinical social worker, and when you look at data from different situations, a lot of times, anyone is, capable of it, correct? So just put that out there. But sometimes statistics say, when you come from more of an underserved community, the probability of, things not going as you desire has increased because of just what you've been exposed to, what's been the norm, and just the variety of things that happen when you grow up in certain environments. And it's not to justify to say one is better than the other. It's just based on statistics. Normally some individuals have been known to be more prone to those situations. So I think in this particular case, when it came to him and just the decisions that he made, it was all about belonging. And that really just weighed heavy on me, because it was like, you didn't have to do this. Like, you didn't have to take this path, because this was not your trajectory. This was not the road you were on. Like, you were on the road of, doing the regular college thing like most middle class people or something. This just wasn't your path to end up being convicted of murder. And now you're going to be in life without the potential parole forever. And then even when I I've been looking at the Nature Boy documentary also. And even in that situation, it's all about belonging. And I think it's okay to want to belong. I think that's like human nature. And I also feel like we have to be comfortable being alone. I know, like, when my daughter was, I think she was at least 16, and this isn't to say like me or my daughter are perfect, because neither one of us are, okay? Not the perfect parent. My daughter's not perfect. I'm not perfect. We both still make mistakes, even though she's like living in New York, independent, moved there when she was 20, 21 now, doing her thing. I'm in Asia for the next 4 months. But when she was around 16, I know she wasn't 18 yet, but I know she at least had a car, so she had to be 16. And one day she asked about us going out to eat. And I was like, nah. I was like, I don't want us to go out to eat, but I am willing to actually give you, ooh, okay, got it. Had to catch the elevator there. I'm willing to give you the money to go to a restaurant. So my one goal for her at that moment when she was like, Mom, I don't want to go to a restaurant by myself. And I was like, listen, I'm not going to go out and eat with you. Could I have one I was eat with her? Yes, easily. Like, but I wanted her to get into the habit of being okay, like doing things independently. So I said, okay, well, let's make a deal. I'll give you the money, and then you could just go out to eat by yourself. And then, you know, that wasn't really on her bingo card, right? But she did do it. And lo and behold, she actually enjoyed it. And she had a nice time. And she thought that it was going to, you know, be like this weird feeling or whatever. But in actuality, on the back end, she was actually like really thankful that I made her, you know, go to this restaurant by herself, because I guess it got her in the, I don't want to say in the mindset, but it kind of normalized being okay with, you know, with doing things, you know, by yourself. Like, you don't have to try to do something with someone else. I just made it back to my room, so I'm trying to, you know, prop the phone up and all that good stuff. But you don't have to necessarily do something with someone else. If you have someone to do something with, then that's perfect. But if you don't, you know, then you just don't. And you just go do something by yourself. And now for the first time, like, she turned 21 in March. And we took a cruise for her 21st birthday, leaving from LA. I think it was like a 7-day cruise or something like that. And that was in March. And literally, I'm recording this and we're in like mid-May now. And she took her first solo cruise like by herself. Like, she literally flew from New York to Orlando and went and called a flight from Port Canaveral. And she's just coming back from a cruise. And she did it all by herself. Because she was just like, she liked the taste of actually going on a cruise. So she was like, why don't I go and book my own cruise? So I feel like, you know, or even it would be times like in the past, other people will be like, well, Lequita, why didn't you invite me to come with you? Or, you know, we could have did it together. And it's like, you know, yes, we could have done these things together, but it's like, why do we need to actually do it together? I could just go do it. And it doesn't mean I don't, you know, like people. No, I totally like people. I enjoy doing stuff with people, but I just think also, just as humans, we can't allow our desire for belonging and connection and all those things to put us in precarious situations, because we're yearning for that so much that now we're putting ourselves in situations like, I wish I could. And it's like, I knew the gentleman's name with the Julio Fulio's case, but he's the fairest skiing person and also the one who was well-traveled with the whole passport. Like, when you think about the percentage of yeah, and I mean, he is very fair-skinned, but I think he is considered black. But when you think about, or he might identify as, I'm not sure. But anyways, when you think about the number of people who are black under the age of 18, how many really have a passport? You know, like that's like that in itself is like a big deal. Like, I mean, I know my daughter had a passport before she was even one, and we actually had to end up getting her a second passport. So she's had quite a few, and she's traveled internationally and all those things before even the age of 18. You know, Belize, Dominican Republic, Mexico, done a variety of things, but that is just so rare. And I know just me as a parent, the reason I did those things was because I wanted to like expose my daughter to other opportunities and options, to let her know that, you know, these are things that's possible, you know, for you. So then if she gets older, she would have a taste of what that feels like to achieve those things or be able to do those things. So then she would want to turn around and to do them on her own, at which now she is, because like I said, she actually booked her first cruise by herself the other day, booked her flight from New York to Orlando, caught the shuttle, took her first cruise independently. So my desire for her is that she will continue to do those things. Now, would she love to have people to do it with? Yes. And if she can, because she is a socialite, and if she can get people to do it with, that's even better. But I also don't want her to just sit around and just wait around in life hoping to have someone to do stuff with. So I just think that your desire for freedom has to be way greater than your desire for belonging. And when you have that freedom, you know, you then can visualize what do you want for your life. So then when you do decide to connect and belong, you know, with others, you'll know whether this is a good fit for you and you can welcome them in and continue to attract that into your life. Or if it's not a good fit for you, then you'll know how to actually repel those things and those people because they're just not in alignment, not a good fit. But you have to first, you know, kind of have that vision for you and for your life. And in so many of those videos, people were, especially with Nature Boy, it was like, I don't have purpose, I don't know what I want. And it's like, yeah, and it's okay to find yourself, but also don't allow the sense of belonging to make you sacrifice your values, your soul, and other things about you that you know, about yourself. You might not know your purpose or why are you here on this earth, for all those things, but it's just certain things that you know about yourself that you have to kind of stand firm on. So belonging is cool, but don't allow the desire to belong to jeopardize who you are, or put you in a precarious situation like Garth Wright. And now he committed a crime at 18. He's now 20, and he's sentenced to life in prison without parole for the remainder of his life. And they've already said the system is looking forward to his sweat equity because he's young and he's able-bodied. You don't want to be in one of those situations, or nor do you want to be in a Nature Boy, type of situation. You gotta, your desire for freedom has to be greater than your desire for belonging. This is Lequita Travels.